Good evening, students.
Good evening, sir.
So now we will be doing an assignment, like we'll do some worksheet based on light chat. Okay. So I'll be sharing the questions on my screen. You can have a look. And by the end of this session, you will be able to find it in the app. Okay. So before I start this worksheet, you guys tell me, is there any doubt that you have from this chapter, any topic that is not clear? Listen. So let's get started. First question. Which of the following can be used to find the focal length of a lens? So this is an approximate focal length. So how do you find the approximate focal length of a lens? When we use an object at a distance 10 centimeter for a focal length of 30 centimeter, light from window of our lab, light from sun, light from a distant tree. Which one is going to give you a more appropriate value of focal length? Option? I'm not able to hear. Your voice is breaking. Can you try it again? Can you please let me know in the chat box your voice is breaking? Sir, is the test on 21st and secure subjective? Subjective. Next. Yeah. So it is the light from the sun because it is considered to be an object at infinity. The sun is considered to be an object from infinity. Okay. Second, when red, blue, and green light coming parallel to the principal axis fall on a convex lens, they will converge on the axis at one point, three different points, none of these, or two different points.
Sir, 1 point, sir.
Why?
Sir, because all the rays passing parallel to the principal axis falling on the mirror will pass through 1 point on the principal axis, sir.
That will happen if it is considered as a combined white light. Okay. But I know there's a slightly tricky part. The answer will be they will fall at three different points because they have different wavelengths. Okay. So we know the fact that the refraction of lens will take place depending on the wavelength of light that is falling on it. Okay. So please make a note. Since the wavelength of the three lights are different, there will be three different points on the principal axis. Answer is since wavelength is different for all colors. Okay. Third, a student has to do the experiment on finding the focal length of a given concave mirror by using a distant object. Out of the following steps, A, B, C, D available to her, then first. So there's option A. Okay. A is a screen, mirror holder, and a scale. So 1 minute, read the question again. There is a student who has to find the 1 minute. There is a student who has to do an experiment on finding the focal length of a given concave mirror by using a distant object. Which one would she prefer? A screen, a mirror holder, and a scale. A mirror holder, a screen holder, and a scale. So what are the steps to be followed is what they're asking. So what will be the answer, guys? See, the meaning of it is if you place a mirror holder here, okay, there will be a mirror holder on top of which there will be a mirror. Okay. So since the images due to a concave mirror is formed in front of it, you will have a screen here. So there will be a screen here, right? And you need a scale to measure the distance, and that distance will give you the focal length. Okay. So out of the following steps available to her, I'm just not able to understand this on finding the focal length of concave mirror by using a distant object. Okay. So the distant object is being focused. See, have you ever done? Was this demonstrated in your school? So generally, if you look at a distant object, what will happen is the rays will come and fall on the mirror and they get reflected in such a way that they fall on the screen itself. So out of all the options available, which one is correct? You will use a screen, mirror holder, and a scale, or you use only a mirror holder, screen holder, and a scale. So what is the order in which you will place it?
Sir, holder and screen.
Yes. But the thing is, out of A and B, which one is more appropriate? So here they told screen, a screen can't stand without a screen holder. So you need a mirror holder and a screen holder along with the scale. You're able to understand. So the difference between the first 2 points is they told only about the screen. A screen, if you try to hold it without a screen holder, it cannot be firm. So in order to achieve the firmness, what we do is we take option B. You need a mirror holder, a screen holder, and a scale. So what is missing in C? You don't have a mirror holder. So C is not right. In D, you don't have a scale. So that will not work. So this will be the right answer. Okay. Fourth one. Given below are steps not in proper sequence followed in the determination of the focal length of a given convex lens by obtaining a sharp image of a distant object. Measure the distance between the lens and the screen. No. Adjust the position of the lens to form a sharp image. Select the suitable distant object. Hold the lens between the object and the screen when it faces a parallel screen. So you need to, they have given 4 steps. These are the 4 steps to be carried out, but the steps are not in order. Okay. So it is our job to arrange them in the proper order. Which one is the right order? First, what you need to do? You need to select the distant object. Once you select the distant object, then what are we supposed to do? You need to hold the lens. Yeah, correct. Hold the lens between the object and the screen when it faces parallel to the screen. So C, then D. Then adjust the position of the lens to form a sharp image, that will be B, and measure the distance between the lens and the screen, that will be A. So CDBA should be the answer. Means you will generally select a distant object. When you do it in the lab, right, you generally focus on a tree. Once the tree is there, you will have convex lens here. You will have a screen here. You will hold the lens between the object and the screen. Okay. Then this lens is moved to achieve a sharp image on the screen. After that, what you will do, you will measure the distance between these 2 points, that will give you the focal length. So CDBA is the answer. Okay. Next. So there is a student is performing an experiment again to find the focal length of a device X. By focusing the image of a far off object on the screen positioned as shown in the figure below. So the device X is what? You can tell in one step. So is that mirror forming a real image or a virtual image? Sorry? It forms a real image, right? So since it forms a real image, what should be the lens mirror? It should be concave. It's right, concave mirror. Sometimes they can also give you as converging mirror. Don't get confused, okay? Converging mirror is also right. Sixth. While doing the experiment with candle to find the focal length of a concave mirror, the candle is placed between what? So let's say you're doing an experiment with a candle to find the focal length of a concave mirror. Where should you place the candle? See, I know there's a slightly tougher question. Generally, the candle should be placed between.
The focus and center of curvature.
That's right. It should be placed between the focus and center of curvature. What is the reason for it? if you place it between the focus and center of curvature, the image will be enlarged. And it will be beyond C. That is the reason. Okay, so write down the reason. It should be enlarged and beyond C. Next. 7th. In the setup shown below, a clear image of the distant object is obtained on the screen. The focal length of the concave mirror is how much? Look at the diagram and tell. So I'll zoom it for you guys. This is 2. And this is just 1 millimeter before 12 centimeter. So it is 11.9 centimeter. So what will be the answer, guys?
So 9.9.
9.9.
Correct. It should be 9.9. The diagram is not much clear, but yeah. Okay, try the next one. See, all the questions are based on focal length only. Then we'll go to refraction. A student has to do the experiment to find the focal length of a given convex lens by using a distant object. She can do her experiment. She can do her experiment if she is also made available with what? So you have a distant object. So to find the focal length of it, what are you supposed to do? You need to be providing her with a lamp and a screen. Lamp is not needed. Why? Because lamp, the object is already chosen, a distant object. Lamp and a scale. Yes, you need a scale and a screen. So why is it? You need the screen for capturing the image and scale for
Measure.
Very good. Right. Now, try the 9th one, guys. While performing the experiment on tracing the path of ray of light passing through a glass slab as shown in the given diagram, 4 students interpreted the results as given below. Which of the following interpretation is right? So here it is glass slab. You guys know when rays are passed through a glass slab, what will happen? The ray will emerge out. The ray will emerge parallel to the incident ray. So angle of incidence. So which one is right? Tell me. Angle R is equal to angle E, correct?
Yes.
It is wrong actually. Because angle I will be equal to angle E. Check your notes once. I have proved this. Angle I is equal to angle R. Wrong. Angle R is greater than E. Correct, Apar? So this is a denser medium and this is a rarer medium. So when the light is
the correct.
No, imagine when the light is traveling from denser to rarer medium, the ray travels away from the normal. When it is traveling away from the normal, how can this angle be greater than E? So this is also wrong. Okay, this is the right option because light is traveling from rarer to denser medium. So when light is traveling from rarer to denser medium, the light bends towards the normal. When I say towards the normal, the angle of incidence in the first medium, in rarer medium, will be greater than the angle of refraction in the denser medium. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, here distant object means at infinity, sir.
Where is it placed?
Sir, in 8th question I'm asking, sir. Distant object
distant
means
object.
infinity.
It is a far object.
Okay, sir. So it is at infinity, sir.
Yeah, it is at generally infinity. See, you see the first question, right? Sun can be taken as infinite. Generally, distant object means yes, it is infinity. But you'll be focusing on objects which are outside your lab window and all those things. We'll be focusing on trees, something like that. So
Okay, sir.
that's called, I can say it's a far off object, which is approximated to infinity. Yes. To answer your question in terms of exam point of view, yes, distant object means infinity.
Okay, sir.
10th one. So a 10 millimeter long all pin is placed vertically in front of a concave mirror. A 5 millimeter long image of the pin is formed at 30 centimeter in front of the mirror. To find the focal length of the mirror. Guys, I'm leaving this part to you. Do it. 1 minute time. Do it fast. So it's a mirror. What does mirror formula tell us? One by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F.
So minus 20.
Minus 20. Yeah? I don't know what is this. Correct. So how did you do?
So substituting the value of V and U.
How much is the value of V? 1 by, how much is the value of V? 1 by minus 30.
Minus 30.
Yes.
Sir.
1
1
divided
by
by
minus 60.
1 by U is minus.
60, sir.
How did you get minus 60? Because they didn't say anything about the initial displacement, initial position, right? What logic you use to get that 60? Sixty is right, but how did you get it? It's very simple. We need to use the formula of magnification. So magnification of a mirror is minus V by U. Correct? So minus of V is minus 30 divided by U is how much, guys? That's what we need to find. But this is also equal to height of the image to the height of the object. What is the height of the image? Height of the image is minus 5 and height of the object is plus 10. So this will become 2 times. So when you take 2 to the other side, you will be equal to minus 60. So minus 60 centimeter is equal to 1 by F. Am I clear, guys? Is there anyone having a doubt in this? What I did? So whenever the object distance is not given, then what you're supposed to do is take the help of magnification to solve the problem. Okay. 11th. A student performs an experiment on tracing the path of a ray of light passing through the rectangular glass slab for different values of angle of incidence. He fixes pin P3 and P4 while looking through the face DC so that their feet are in line with the images of the feet as pin P1 and P2. Okay. This is actually a practical based question. You will not be able to solve unless you did the experiment. Okay. We can forget this. Don't worry about it. 12th one you can do. A light IM is incident on the surface PQ as shown. The emergent A has to be. Which one is the emergent ray? Tell me. Na, Nb, Nc, Nd. Guys, this is a very easy answer. You need not even break your head. You can tell in 2
NC, sir.
seconds.
NC, sir.
Why Nc? Nc is perfect, right answer, but why?
NC
Because
is parallel.
very good. It is emergent ray and this is the incident ray. So in a rectangular glass slab, the emergent ray and the incident ray will be parallel to each other. Hence, Nc is the right answer. Correct? Good. So 13. Refraction cannot cause bending of light. Cause bending as light moves from one surface to another if the incident and the refraction angles I and R are related as. What is the answer, guys? Draw the diagram and see. They are saying, what does refraction mean? Refraction is bending of light when it travels from one medium to another. Right? This is the incident, right?
Sir, is
This
it
angle of
option D, sir?
option D. Actually, I'm
So
able to
both
see
I
that.
and R are 0.
I'm able to see both two options. When the angle of incidence is equal to angle of refraction is equal to 90. Okay, this is 0. See, actually, the question is ambiguous. Actually, refraction cannot cause bending as light moves from one surface to another. See, according to me, option should be A. If they're trying to use the word bending, this see the question is slightly ambiguous. If they're trying to say that bending means moving from one medium to another. Okay. So if the angle of incidence is equal to 90, then the angle of refraction will also be equal to 90. Means the angle of incidence is 90, the angle of refraction will also be 90, I and R. This is a situation where bending will not take place. Whereas when I is equal to 0 means it is hitting the surface perpendicular, it will bend into the other medium. Bend in the sense, travel into the other medium. But if I have to take the literal meaning of bending, it is not bending. So option A is also right, D is also right, but A is more appropriate. But I would conclude that this question is ambiguous. Okay, don't worry about it. But the answer, right, more appropriate answer should be I is equal to R is equal to 90 degrees. Okay. 14th. Two different angles of incidence. Forget this because you don't have the formula. 15th. So your school laboratory has one large window. To find the focal length of concave mirror using one of the walls as screen, the experiment may be performed on the wall adjacent to the window, on the same wall as the window, on the wall only on the table as per the laboratory requirement, near the wall opposite to the window. So what would be the answer? You guys think and tell me. So here is the wall, light is coming through it, and we need to use the wall as the screen, and it's a concave mirror. So where should the screen be used?
Sir, I think near the wall opposite to the window.
If you use it, see, opposite to the window will be here. But what will happen? The light which is falling will start bending away, no? So when it gets bent away, where will it go and fall again? On the same wall that contains the window, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So assertion reason I want you guys to try before I solve. Let's go to the 21st part. Uh, 21A. See, actually the question is, the second law of refraction is also known as dash law. So what does the second law of refraction state? Sine of the angle of incidence, the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to sine of the angle of refraction is equal to refractive index. So what do you call it? You call it as Snell's law. This question is wrong. Dash of a lens is the reciprocal of the focal length of the lens. What is reciprocal of focal length of lens called as? It's power of lens, right? Similarly, you have a positive sign in the value of magnification indicates the images. See, positive sign or negative sign, it depends with respect to a mirror or lens. This question is also wrong. The dentists use dash mirrors to see large images of the teeth of patients. You guys tell me?
Concave.
Very good. They use concave mirrors. Correct. Now try this. So in the concave mirror, the nature, position, and size of the image formed depend on the position of the object in relation to the pole, the center of curvature, and the focus. The image is real for some position of the object and virtual for another position. The image is either magnified, reduced, or has the same size depending on the object's position. So first one, what will be the position of the image if the object is placed at infinity?
At
Less than. Very good. Next, for an image to be of the same size as that of the object, what will be the position of the object?
At C.
Perfect. If the image formed behind the concave mirror, what will be the nature of the image?
Virtual.
Correct. Highly diminished point size image is formed at. When will you have an highly diminished point size object?
At infinity.
When the object is at infinity, where will the image be formed? At infinity, guys, for your information, at infinity, the image is said to be highly magnified. Highly diminished point sized object is formed at the focus when the object is at infinity. If the object is placed at f, size of the images.
Highly enlarged.
Which one? Ma? The image is formed at infinity. So any image formed at infinity is highly enlarged. Correct. So try this one. When a ray of light travels from one transparent medium to another, it will change the direction in the second medium. The extent of change in the direction that takes place in the pair of mediums is expressed in terms of the refractive index. The value of refractive index for the given pair of medium depends upon the speed of light in the second medium. So refractive index of four substances P, Q, R and S are 1.5, 1.36, 1.77 and 1.31 respectively. The speed of light is maximum in the substance. Numbers are just for your reference. So what is the logic we need to think of? So in which medium is the speed of light maximum? A rarer or denser medium? In which medium is the speed of light maximum, guys? It's a
Rarer medium.
So rarer medium has the lesser refractive index. Out of the four, which one is having lesser refractive index? (1.31), which corresponds to S. So S is the answer. Are you able to understand? So these kind of questions are what are going to come. So ensure you guys are clear with this. If medium 1 is in vacuum, then the refractive index of medium 2 is considered. With respect to it is called as. If medium 1 is vacuum, then the refractive index of medium 2 considered with respect to vacuum is called as. What did I say? Perfect. Absolute refractive index. Absolute means something calculated with respect to a known quantity. Third, the refractive index of water is, you can remember this, it is 4/3, which is 1.33. The speed of light in air is how much? The speed of light in air is also known, 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So the refractive index of quartz is dash than that of alcohol. Generally, they should give you the value because it would have been clearly mentioned that you need not memorize the table. Okay. But for your information, it is actually more. You can go and look at the table and write down the answer for this problem. Okay. So that is all with respect to the case-based resistance. So assertion reason alone, I want you guys to try and come up with doubts. I'm not going to solve this. Because I know when you solve assertion reason, you're going to get many doubts. So this part alone, I'm leaving it to you. You can reach out on the student support number to get more information. Okay. So in a similar way, the next chapter, we need not sit and solve anything like this because it is full of theory only. You need to read NCERT. There are only 4 or 5 pages. Read it end to end and solve and try to make notes out of it. Okay. So in this chapter, whatever we discussed today, ensure that whichever you didn't know, you make a clear note of all those points. Okay. And what I will do is the test which is going to come on 21st, right? That is Sunday. I'll make it objective itself. That is in the new pattern. But apart from writing the answers, okay, don't write option alone and leave it. Apart from writing the option, I would need an explanation below it. So it is indirectly going to be subjective only. Whatever rough work you're doing, you do it there only in the paper, and that also should come along with your answer sheet. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's it.
So the coming test is MCQ based.
It's new pattern based.
Yes, sir.
Though it is MCQ, as I told you again, you need to write the explanation. You cannot just write the option and leave it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So will you send this question paper in the WhatsApp or app?
It's already uploaded. It's already uploaded in the app.
Okay, sir, I'll check it.
It's there in the assignments tab. You can have a look at it. what I will do, if you once you solve, you guys have any doubt, you can reach out to me. That's it. And I hope you guys got your marks right of the previous tests. So the papers are corrected. So when you're coming to submit the next test papers, you can take these papers along with you. Okay. So I'll drop a message in the group. That's it, guys. We can wind up the session if there are no doubts.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.